Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews, circa 1940. I'm your host, Matt Spease, and today we are continuing our 1940s Universal Monsters review. From 1943 on into the last film in 1946. Now, I will not be covering the Abbott and Costello Meet series in this review. So, we start with Son of Dracula, released in 1943. Son of Dracula stars Lon Chaney Jr., Robert Page, J. Edward Bromberg, Louise Albritton, Evelyn Ankers, and is directed by Robert Zoidmak. Now, this film, just because the title is Son of Dracula, Lon Chaney Jr. is not playing the Son of Dracula. He is playing Count Dracula. He is going by the name Alucard, but he is Dracula. But he's just using that name to keep the vampire hunters off of his trail. But doesn't work very good as Professor Laszlo, played by J. Edward Bromberg. He figures this out pretty quick in this thing. The character of Professor Laszlo is a pretty good representation for Van Helsing in here. We have the new effect that we've never seen done before, and of course, just like the effects on the Invisible Man and the effects we've seen in the transformations with the Wolf Man and Werewolf of London in the past and everything, the effects are getting really good, and the effects in this for the smoke coming up through the door, which we've never seen Dracula ever do that before in any other film prior to this. Very unique and good effect. It works so well in this. But Lon Chaney Jr. does not work very well as Dracula. I mean, he has the imposing presence because he's a big guy. But him trying to be this suave and debonair vampire, it just doesn't work with him. He's better at playing the everyday man or the mummy. So I give him credit for trying to play this part. And for the first time, since Ghost of Frankenstein, Lon Chaney Jr. is in a film with Evelyn Ankers, and they are not a couple in it. He doesn't even pursue her like that. The girl he pursues is Louise Albritton, who is already engaged to be married to Robert Page's character. So it causes a little bit of a love triangle in this film where Louise Albritton is leaving her fiancé to be with Lon Chaney Jr. as Dracula. Robert Zoidmak does a really good job with the mood, the atmosphere in this, and some of the really unique camera shots that he does in here. But overall, this isn't the best Dracula movie. I would give Son of Dracula a 7.0 out of 10. It it's got the mood, it's got the atmosphere, it's got attractive females in Louise Albritton and Evelyn Ankers, which another bad thing about this is Evelyn Ankers is in a vampire film and never once does Lon Chaney Jr.'s Dracula ever go after her and try to use her. What a wasted opportunity that was, you know. So, yeah, it's serviceable as a Dracula movie, but not one of the best. Next we have The Invisible Man's Revenge, released in 1944. The Invisible Man's Revenge stars John Hall, Evelyn Ankers, Alan Curtis, Leon Errol, and is directed by Ford Beebe. Now, following the Casablanca-ish Invisible Agent, this is not what you were expecting to see in the next step in this film series. This, like I said, this film series has been all over the place. You know, you get the first movie, which is quirky, fun film, and then you get the second one, The Invisible Man Returns, which is more dramatic. And then you get The Invisible Woman, and, you know, it is a comedy, first and foremost. And then you get The Invisible Agent, which is like an action film. And now, The Invisible Man's Revenge, it reverts back to that dramatic film. And John Hall, who was pretty cool playing like the secret agent version of the Invisible Man in The Invisible Agent, is playing like the other Invisible Man and Invisible Man Returns more than any of the previous films. And it's just strange to see him go from playing this character who the invisibility serum did not make him go insane. It didn't make him bad. It didn't affect him the way it did in The Invisible Man and The Invisible Man Returns, where it makes them go kind of crazy. John Hall's character of Robert Griffin is a completely sinister character even before he is made invisible. So it's funny that this now reverts back to that kind of a story. And, but, I mean, it's got a great co-star in Evelyn Ankers in here. And it's not bad. I mean, it's weird how they keep changing the storyline. Another actress in this film is Gail Sondergaard, who had played in Road to Rio with Bing Crosby and Bob Hope. She plays Evelyn Ankers' mother character of Irene in this, and sets up John Hall's Robert Griffin's revenge plot. Even though I didn't mention him on the cast, John Carradine plays the character of Dr. Drury, who's responsible for making John Hall invisible. They don't do any kind of continuity at all. Each film is its own little thing and it's got its own little charm and vibe to it. And this one's not bad, and it's just weird seeing John Hall go from being the charismatic and fun, you know, agent character in Invisible Agent, and now he's more sinister and wanting, you know, revenge and everything in here. The only character in this, or part of this, that even feels like the original Invisible Man is Leon Errol's character of Herbert. He feels like he could have been in that and had me genuinely chuckling a couple of times at things he did in this film. But it's well directed, well put together, it's well acted. So I would give The Invisible Man's Revenge a 7.8 out of 10. It's not a bad addition in the series. In fact, the Invisible Man series is probably one of the better series as far as overall good storylines. There wasn't really any weird bad ones in here, in this one, unlike the Dracula films. So, yeah. And next we have The Mummy's Ghost, released in 1944. The Mummy's Ghost stars Lon Chaney Jr., John Carradine, Robert Lowery, Ramsay Ames, and is directed by Reginald Leborg. Now this film, I mean, the plot line with Karras being resurrected once again, and John Carradine playing this Egyptian character who ends up falling in love with Ramsay Ames' character and wants to make her his own, which pisses off Karras. And with Lon Chaney Jr. playing Karras, you don't want to piss that mummy off. And the ending to this thing is so good, because it's something you don't expect to see. You don't expect the mummy to ever win. I mean, you expect the mummy to be brought down by the end of the film, just like all of the other films. Every film in this series has brought the mummy down in the end. This one broke that mold. The mummy literally takes Ramsay Ames and takes her into the bayou and wins. He gets what he wants. He gets his girl. It's the kind of an ending that just shocks you. First time I watched this, I was in awe of that. I was like, wow, I can't believe they went there. So it is a very well-written, well-acted mummy movie. So my review for this one, I am going to give it a 9.0 out of 10. This to me is the best mummy film Universal ever brought out. And I know some people might call that sacrilege, saying that it's better than the Boris Karloff original. But to me, the Boris Karloff original was not really a mummy-style film. I mean, it was more of like a Dracula style film. It only felt like a mummy movie at the very beginning. This one, it is a mummy movie where the mummy wins. And that is a win for me. Now, next we have House of Frankenstein, released in 1944. House of Frankenstein stars Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney Jr., J. Carrol Naish, John Carradine, and Glenn Strange. House of Frankenstein was directed by Errol C. Kenton. Now, this is the moment where you got the return of Boris Karloff to the Frankenstein franchise. However, he's playing a mad scientist and not playing the monster himself. So he's basically playing a variation on the Dr. Frankenstein character in this. And he plays it really well. I mean, he's good, and as is J. Carrol Naish as the hunchback assistant to him. He's very sinister and very good. And as usual, I mean, you got Lon Chaney Jr. reprising his role as Larry Talbot / the Wolfman. The big drawback in this film is John Carradine as Dracula. Now, don't get me wrong here. John Carradine could have been playing a really good Dracula. I mean, he's got the charisma as an actor. He's got the style. He's got the right vibes for it. But it sucks that he is featured in the film in the few little moments that he gets at the beginning when he's hypnotizing the one girl that he meets. And he looks like he's going to win the day and he's going to get the girl. And then, of course, you know, her boyfriend comes along, just ends it. And this whole thing happens in the first, 20 minutes of the movie. And then Dracula's gone. And then we're just following Boris Karloff, J. Carrol Naish, and his pursuit of trying to revive Glenn Strange's Frankenstein monster. And Lon Chaney Jr. ends up becoming the hero in the end for this one, which makes sense because Larry Talbot is a great character. So, but it's just, you never really ever see John Carradine's Dracula ever interacting with the Wolfman or Frankenstein's monster. So this whole team up thing, it's wasted in this film because one of your main players, Dracula, is just dispatched right at the beginning of the film. So yeah, House of Frankenstein, I give this film a 5.5 out of 10. Definitely not the best of the Frankenstein movies. And it's unfortunate because, I mean, Boris Karloff came back and he gave his all in a little performance that he gave in this and was good enough, but yeah. Next we have The Mummy's Curse, released in 1944. The Mummy's Curse stars Lon Chaney Jr., Peter Coe, Virginia Christie, Kay Harding, and it's directed by Leslie Goodwins. Now, this film picks up right where The Mummy's Ghost left off. And it does not do a very... It's a good movie still, but ruining that win that Lon Chaney Jr.'s Mummy had in The Mummy's Ghost is not a very good idea. And I like Virginia Christine as in this film, but she is not as good as Ramsay Ames was in this role. She does her best with it. She's still attractive. I mean, but it's disappointing that they went in this route with the story. Peter Coe is good in his role. He's serviceable. Kay Harding is there's no real reason for her to be there. I mean, when you have these two clashing females in the story fighting for screen time, the Virginia Christine character has already been an established character, even though she's a different actress playing her, she's going to get more of your attention. And that's the way it was for me. I mean, the Kay Harding is a good little actress, but nothing. She does nothing in this film that warrants her even being there. But yeah, it was a bit of a step down from The Mummy's Ghost, unfortunately. I will give The Mummy's Curse an 8.0 out of 10. It's a good film, but it is following the strongest Mummy film in my opinion, and that is a hard thing to follow. So, yeah, it doesn't quite hit it out of the park, unfortunately. And next we have House of Dracula, released in 1945. House of Dracula stars Onslow Stevens, John Carradine, Lon Chaney Jr., Martha Driscoll, and Glenn Strange. And again, it was directed by Errol C. Kenton. Errol, you didn't learn your lesson. Yeah, same mistakes that were made with House of Frankenstein are made in House of Dracula. John Carradine, he could have been a great, charismatic, awesome version of this character. He's got the talent. But again, they kill him off in the first 25 minutes of the film, only to replace him with Onslow Stevens, who has the blood transferred from some blood transfusion thing where Dracula caused his blood to go into Onslow Stevens. Now he's like a mad scientist now all of a sudden, and it's just, this is not what we wanted. We didn't need that. We wanted to see Dracula face the Wolfman and face Frankenstein's monster. If you're going to do these clashes where they're fighting, at least as bad as Frankenstein meets the Wolfman was, because of the mistakes that they made when they cut out all of Bela Lugosi's dialogue and, really kind of hampered that film. At least it had that big moment at the end where Frankenstein's monster fights the Wolfman. This, you get a little bit of Lon Chaney Jr., Larry Talbot with the Frankenstein monster action in here, but it's not anything to write home about. Because at this point, he's been cured of the lycanthropy, so he's not a Wolfman anymore. He's just a regular hero trying to fight against the Frankenstein monster. So, yeah, it's my review of House of Dracula. I give this one 6.0 out of 10. Slightly better because you have a little bit more of a story with Lon Chaney Jr.'s Larry Talbot, where he finally is cured, but that's its only saving grace in this film, unfortunately. Next we have She-Wolf of London, released in 1946. She-Wolf of London stars Don Porter, June Lockhart, Sarah Hardin, Jane Wiley, and is directed by Gene Yarborough. Now, whereas I really appreciated the difference in vibe with Invisible Woman, this one, it's just a murder mystery is basically what it is. And it tries to trick you into believing that one character in it, June Lockhart, is a female werewolf in this. But it's revealed that it's all in her mind. None of it is real. None of that is real. So it's just a weird little murder mystery kind of a film instead of being a horror. Now, this might have worked, it being this murder mystery thing. It had June Lockhart's character actually been like a werewolf. Because this could have been as good as Werewolf of London was. But as a female, you know. Or even if they would have went, you know, full on, you know, kind of comedy the way that Invisible Woman did, it could have been fun. It's not any of those things. This is overly dramatic. It is weird in its imagery of these visions and these dreams that June Lockhart's having of her supposedly turning into a werewolf, which is fake. It's not real. So, yeah, this is definitely not a good way for Universal to have ended the 1940s in their Universal Monsters line. I give this film a 5.8 out of 10. The acting in it is fine. June Lockhart's fine, but it just sucks that she's not actually I hate fake out storylines like that where it doesn't give you what you're wanting, you know. So give me light, give me color. That's better. Now, what did you think? Do you agree with my ratings of all of these reviews that I've done in this two-part 40s issue? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? And, as usual, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because it really does help my channel out a lot. So, I hope you've enjoyed this. This is not the end of the Universal thing. You guys have wanted to see me do a ranking of all of the, or a top 10 ranking list of the Universal Monsters characters, and that's got a lot of you have voted for that to be one of my next videos, so that's coming. So keep an eye out for that. And I've also got a few more reviews from the Universal Monsters. But this ends the 30s and the 40s. We're done with that. So hope you've enjoyed this, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.